Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here. We've jumped in a full block Shards of Alara draft. It's single elimination. They don't have Swiss. I would prefer to do Swiss because it's actually been probably, I don't even know how many years since I've done a full Shards block draft. The last time I did it, the draft order was reversed. So if that tells you anything about how long it's been. A very, very long time. I just want to remind you, if you were on stream last week and you would have heard this already, but I'm planning on doing a 72-hour stream starting Friday night, going until Monday night. And that's Friday, July 15th through the 18th, which sounds crazy, I know. I don't plan on staying awake through the entire 72 hours, but I will at least be awake for most of that 72 hours. And yes, you will be seeing me occasionally sleeping on webcam over on my couch. So it's going to be a crazy weekend. I'd love for you guys to stop out. That's twitch.tv/Inez27. So stop out, say hey, enjoy the 72-hour craziness stream. Really hoping my computer does not blue screen or that I don't lose internet or that Twitch doesn't kick me off for some reason. Any of those three things could potentially happen, but here's hoping that I can stay up for as much of the 72 hours as possible. I mean, my streams stay up. I definitely will not be staying awake the entire 72 hours, but it's going to be a crazy weekend, so stop out, say hey. We'll be doing all sorts of games, all sorts of Magic events as well. So, all right, I'm going to have to do some serious reading on this Shard draft. Don't have high expectations of me here. It's been a long time. I remember what a lot of the cards do, but in terms of pick priority or anything like that, I am completely blank in terms of that. So this is going to be difficult, but I'm going to try my best, and we'll see you in a little bit. All right, we've hopped in the draft. Now let's see what we've got here. We've got Spearbreaker Behemoth, a 7-drop 5/5 indestructible that makes creatures with power 5 or greater indestructible. That's pretty good. It is a 7-drop though. What else do we have? We have this Resounding Silence, which is a removal spell. You can also cycle it to exile up to 2 target attacking creatures. That seems really good. We have this Soul's Fire, one-sided fight spell. Definitely good. Geez, what's the strongest card here? I assume not a 7-drop, right? Although it is indestructible, which is extremely strong. But 7-drops are pretty expensive. It is monocolor, however. I kind of feel like this Resounding Silence is probably pretty good, because even if you can't cycle it, it's 4 mana, exile an attacking creature, which is pretty good. This Bull Ceradon is a great creature. I know that. 5/5 Vigilance Haste is super strong. That's a really nice ability mashup. Jeez, what's the best? I don't know. I think I'm going to take the Resounding Silence. I kind of like that it's removal, and it actually deals with Spearbreaker Behemoth, believe it or not. So let's take this removal spell. Is it the best? I don't know. I do know Fixing is going to be super high priority picks in this format. So something like Jungle Shrine, that's a tri-land that also can work for the cycling on this, is very high priority. So I probably just take the Jungle Shrine and be happy with that. Unless there's some Omega Bomb in here. I like Hissing Iguanar. Excommunicate is kind of a unique white effect. It's been in white a few times, but it's definitely a cool tempo effect. Rayclaw Gargantuan, pretty cool. 5 mana 5/3 that can give itself first strike at the very least. Let's just take the Jungle Shrine though. Get our fixing on. You can definitely play more than 3 color too, which is just really nice. So we have Bant Panorama, which fixes for Resounding Silence. Maybe a bit too early to be taking that. Memory Erosion. Yeah, that's probably not good enough as a win con. We've got an Obelisk. We have Resounding Roar, which is a combat trick that you can cycle to make something super big. It does feel a bit early to take a Panorama, does it not? It kind of does. Nothing in here seems insane, though. Cavern Thactar, a Fatty, Obelisk. Maybe Obelisk is actually better than Bant Panorama, although it doesn't fix for any of these colors. I guess the blue. The Resounding Roar, I guess, works with the Jungle Shrine. I don't know how good it is yet, though. I kind of feel like these cycling cards are likely pretty good because they're uncounterable and they can net you a card later. We'll take the Resounding Roar. Is it good? I don't know. Okay, so we have another Resounding Silence. We have another Soul's Fire. So Resounding Silence is definitely going to make me want to play a lot of flyers. Because, or at least, if not a bunch of flyers, at least a evasive or kind of slow control-y sort of deck thing. So I'm fine taking another Resounding Silence here. This thing's kind of cool. It's a 4-mana 1/1 though, but it's when either side's creature dies, which I kind of like. This is just a Grizzly Bear Elf creature. Gift of the Gargantuan. This card's actually pretty good. Land and a creature potentially. Some nice green card advantage, to tell you the truth. But I think we're going to just take another removal spell here. Goes with our first Resounding Silence. So what's this Keeper of Progenitus do? 4-mana 1/3. Whenever a player taps a Mountain Forest or Plains, they get an additional. Well, it kind of sucks because it helps your opponent too. I could take. Wow, is Resounding Silence not that good? I kind of figured 4-mana exile an attacking creature would be okay with upside, right? Maybe I'm way off base on these, but I'm just gonna probably keep taking them. I guess they are 4-mana. So maybe they're not that good, but we'll see. We'll see how disastrous we get here. Time will only tell. Okay, so what do we have now? We have a Ridge Rannet, which is a big fat fatty that can also potentially find us. Well, it just cycles, so it's not insane or anything. We have a Krasian Squire, which actually works well with flying creatures for Resounding Silence. We could just take the Squire. Maybe start picking some Exalted dudes. Savage Hunger, which is not insane. I guess it's okay, though. Yeah, let's take the Squire. Maybe a 6th pick Squire means something. I'm not sure. Well, could take another one. Could take the Guardians. Guardians works well with the Resounding Silence, but I would say the Knight Captain of Eos is definitely the pick. This is an awesome card. I've definitely played with this before. It gives you 3 bodies, and it lets you fog a couple times. Very good. So it seems like white is open, which is good news for the triple Resounding Silence. Let's take Knight Captain. And I guess look for more Exalted or other stuff. What's this 7-drop do? So it can kill flyers. That's pretty good. We can take the Obelisk of Bant, which is a ramp spell. We could take the Gift of Gargantuan. I mean, 7-drops in general don't excite me that much. This is kind of cool because it can just kill your opponent if you're ahead on the board, and it's a huge body. I kind of feel like taking this Obelisk, though, and get some more fixing, as well as ramping our Resounding Silence cycling. Like I said, I just don't know how powerful Rockcaster Platoon is. It does seem pretty good. Okay, another Resounding Silence. Sphinx's Herald, which finds you a rare. That doesn't seem super useful. And Vectis Silencers, which is a 3-mana 1/2 that can gain Death Touch, but not by any means we have. So let's take the Roar. Okay, so we can take Naturalize or Angel Song. Angel Song cycles, which is always good. Naturalize can be a valuable card against pesky Oblivion Rings, I guess. I'm assuming Oblivion Ring is in this format. I think it is. It started in Lorwyn. I think pretty sure they brought it back here. Angel Song doesn't seem that insane. Naturalize might be a valuable sideboard card, so let's take that. All right, well, get an Angel Song anyway, so we'll take it to cut white because we do want to be in white. All right, we'll take the Flyer. Not a particularly insane card, but I guess we could take Gift, actually. I do like this card. Creature or land. I mean, we only have a couple creatures. We will have a lot of land. Welkin Guide is a flyer. It's probably fine. I guess we'll take it. All right. Continue to cut white. Tortoise formation. Probably don't want that, but okay. So, were we successful with pack 1? I don't know. What's Megalodon do? 6 mana, 6/6 Vigilance Trample. When it blocks a creature, it deals damage to that creature's controller equal to Megalodon's power. I mean, Vigilance Trample is pretty insane. We do have Airy Mystics, which gives all your guys Shroud, which is certainly not to be overlooked. I mean, Megalodon's going to be harder to cast, but we already have a little bit of incentive to run red, and we have Jungle Shrine. We didn't end up wheeling a Panorama, which is kind of surprising. Valiant Guard, which is a little blocker. That thing we can't use. Matka Rioters. Probably a 3/3 in our deck. 3/3 for 3 is not bad, but I don't know how reliably we're going to be able to get it. Rocks, Bodyguard. Exalted with... It's 5 mana, 2/3 though. Maybe we just take the Megalodon. It seems like a pretty bomb creature. We're going to need some fixing, obviously, but if we can handle that, this could be pretty good. I don't know if Airy Mystics is better, but we'll take the Megalodon. Okay, Skyward Eye Prophets. 6 mana, 3/3 Vigilance, and it lets you potentially ramp with land cards after attacking, no less. Ember Weaver, which blocks, and if we control a red permanent, which we currently only have one of, it's a 3/3 First Strike Reach, which is actually pretty good. Path to Exile, I think we just have to slam here. It's also worth a couple tickets, not to be overlooked. So let's take that pretty happily. Nice premium removal spell. Ooh, Guiltspire Avenger. I remember this card. This card's cool. So it's got Exalted, and it kills things that deal damage to you. Really cannot overlook how powerful that is. There is a Rupture Spire in here, which would also be pretty good. And a Beacon Behemoth, 5 mana, 5/3 that gives Vigilance to itself and other 5 power creatures. Not bad, not bad. We're going to take Guiltspire Avenger, though. I like it. Let's get these Angel Songs out of here. I don't think these are going to happen. Okay, so we can take Aven Squire because it has Exalted. This is an Exalted Looter, which is a pretty powerful effect. I might just want the Frontline Sage. Looting is good in pretty much every format, and this format is likely no exception. Probably don't want the Tortoise formation. So we're certainly going to want some more fixing, but if we really want to go deep on Bant, but we already have a little bit of incentive. I guess we're already kind of 4-color, but we're mostly white. So for that reason, you could just take the Aven Squire, but I really do think that a loot effect is likely that much better. So we have Beacon Behemoth. We have Mana Silex, which slows down stuff. Maybe we just take the Behemoth here. It's a big dude. There's Lapse of Certainty, which... White Counterspell. Tempo. This deck's not really tempo, though. We could take the Exploding Borders. But red is likely going to be one of our splash colors, making this card much more difficult to play. Let's just take the Beacon Behemoth. I don't really like the Beacon Behemoth because it's double white, but we're not going to be able to activate Paragon of the Amisha. It is a 3 mana 2/2 First Strike, which isn't bad, but I think we're going to take the Behemoth. Ancient Ziggurat. Well, we currently only have 7 creatures, which makes that slightly worse. Controlled Instinct seems like a good sideboard card. Could just take the Matka Rioters, I guess. Like I said, in this deck, it's most likely going to be a 3 mana 3/3. I guess it has the potential to be a 3 mana 4/4. Valiant Guard just seems kind of underwhelming. Maybe I can take the Ziggurat, but I mean, it fixes for our Avenger, our Sage, a Beacon Behemoth, and a Megalodon. So all of the cards that we want to splash for, yeah, let's just take the Ziggurat. I feel like I'm not giving up all that much for it. It does, unfortunately, not work for cards like Resounding Silence if you want to cycle, but that's okay. So we have Vidalcan Outlander, which has Pro Red, which is certainly useful. Otherwise, Knockadle Hunt Pride, 6 mana, 5/4 Vigilance that makes a creature... It can attack and then make a creature block it or a creature unable to block. That's actually pretty good. We have this Rocks Meditant, which lets you draw a card if you have a green permanent. We don't really have much green permanents. We have a couple, but not that many. We also have an unsummon, which I don't love on the splash. I guess we can take the Outlander. I'm probably okay with that because Pro Red seems pretty good. But we'll take the Hunt Pride because I feel like that's a fairly powerful effect. Oh, search your library for plains, island, swamp, and a mountain. Yeah, Shard Convergence seems like a good fixer for us. This also lets you basic land cycle and as a combat trick, though, which might actually be better than Shard Convergence because our deck's not doing a ton early. So I might just want this Gleam of Resistance, basically running it as a... This lets you find basically all the land you want, though. Maybe Shard Convergence is better. I'm not actually sure on that. This lets you land cycle for 2, though, which probably sets me up a little bit better. I'm going to take the Gleam, assuming that basic land cycling is something I'm going to want. All right, we wield Ari Mystics, which I like. I think is pretty solid card. There's also the Bodyguard, but the fact that we can probably reliably activate the creatures you control gain Shroud seems pretty nice. All right, Trailblazer is fine. Most of the time it's going to be a 3-mana 2/2. This thing's just basically a 3-mana 4/4 blocker that also can unearth and become an attacker later. It's not bad, but I think we're going to take the flyer with the triple Resounding Silence. Second Beacon Behemoth or Lapse of Certainty. Or Constricting Tendrils. I feel like we're good on 5 drops, although Welkin Guide's probably a card I'd like to play the least. I could just take Lapse of Certainty. We have enough fat already. Let's take the Lapse. I'm not in love with it, but... Alright, we'll take the Paragon over the Valiant Guard. Even though I'm never going to be able to activate the ability, a 2/2 First Strike could be okay. So this is a kind of dirty way to fix for land. It's probably better than a second Lapse, but I don't really want to run it. Alright, got a Valiant Guard anyway. Okay, well, I mean... Our deck's okay. Finest Hour. This card's good, right? That's kind of cool. Lets you attack again. Wow, we have all of the blades. I guess they are commons. We have this 3-mana 2/3 flyer, which is good. We have Kasali Pride Mage, which is definitely a good Exalted card. Probably just take the Finest Hour because we can play it, but I mean, well, it's fine. Gives you an additional attack step. The problem is we don't have a ton of Exalted, right? We have this. We have this. 3. We basically have 3 Exalted dudes, which isn't a ton, but it's pretty insane with, like, Megalanoth, right? I like that. Intimidation Bolt is removal, though. Maybe we just want that, although... I mean, we do have removal already. Solid Pride Mage. Let's sort by color. I need a better estimation of where we're at. We're borderline mono white, which is actually a good problem to have. It's going to make splashing a little bit easier for us. I guess we'll take the Finest Hour. It's rare. It's interesting. Let's take it. Enigma Sphinx. That's kind of cool. So we can take the Intimidation Bolt, but the splash is going to be difficult. Field Mist Border Post, which lets us fix as well. Our fixing is very much lacking, so we probably want as much fixing as we can get. We don't have a ton of 1/1s, so I think the Sigil Captain's going to be underwhelming. There's Cascade as well, although this is probably one of the less exciting ones. So this thing can be a 3/2 flyer. We only currently have 3 multicolor spells, though, which isn't that great. Maybe we just take the Border Post. I mean, it's multicolored permanent, so Border Post would count, but I think we probably want the fixing. It does enter tapped, so it's kind of slow fixing, but it does work, and you're probably comfortable playing 1 or 2 of them. All right, we'll take it. Fixes for white or blue. I wish we had more blue. Ooh, Spellbound Dragon. This card's pretty sweet. We could potentially play it in this deck too, which is tempting. Otherwise, there's Ceradon Yearling, Bant Sureblade. We still don't have a ton of... I mean, our early game is okay. It's not great. It's not bad, though. We're probably going to end up cutting like a Welkin Guide. Remember, this is a 2-drop too. And we have a little bit of ramp, although I admit not that much. A little bit of ramp, a little bit of fixing. That card's kind of cool. Let's take the Spellbound Dragon, right? Let's play kind of a cool, interesting deck if we can. Let's already cut the Welkin Guide, I think. There's a Messenger Falcon, too, which is pretty good. But Spellbound Dragon seems like a pretty powerful card. Seems like it can end some games. Glory of Warfare. It's kind of cool. Your guys are stronger. It doesn't work that well alongside Exalted, but guess we don't have a super deep Exalted plan going for us. Could just take the Twin Claw. Essentially green-white. Or green-red. Yeah, I mean, we can play the Twin Claw. I guess I'm okay with that. Grizzled Liaotao. I mean, it's a good blocker. We could use some more early plays. All right, let's take the Twin Claw. It's got double strike, right? Another border post we can't use. We're going to take the Sanctum Plow Beast. It's more lands. More fixing. All right, another border post. I mean, I can play two. We could take the Captured Sunlight. Cascades into a lot of things, but I might just want the second border post. And then after that, I guess no more border posts, probably. All right. Destroy all blocking and all blocked creatures. Well, that's interesting. Sigiled Behemoth. Another 6-drop is not something I'm in love with. What's Flurry of Wings do? Wait a second. Extra number of attacking creatures. I don't think we have... It doesn't work particularly well if you're being aggressive with Exalted. I guess it's supposed to be defensive, but... I mean, if your opponent attacks with 3 creatures, it's kind of cool that you can get 3 birds. I don't know how good it is, but I don't think I need another 6-drop necessarily. Guess we'll take the Flurry. Sojourners. What do? You cycle, or when it cycles or dies, you get a white soldier. I mean, it's 4-mana 2/4, which isn't great. Maybe we take another Sanctum Plow Beast here, actually. You can cycle these all day. It also lets us probably play less lands. Ooh, Winged Codal is actually pretty good. Flash Flying Death Touch is pretty nice. I think we'll still take the Plow Beast. Ooh, Wield a Pride Mage. Guess we can take that. It's a pretty awesome card. Okay. Intimidation Bolt is removal, so I guess we can take it. Not an easy removal spell to play, especially in this deck. But I don't really need a Captured Sunlight. Alright. So this pumps team, or am I going too deep on these? They do have Defender, lest we forget. It's fine. It seems fine, though. Plains or Island Cycle. It lets me play less plains. Yeah, I could take the Hill Giant that pumps, I guess. I feel like I probably don't need it, but 3 Sanctum Plow Beasts does seem a bit excessive. All right. Take the Grizzled Liaotao. Take the Yearling, I guess. We don't have enough. Well, we do have some multicolored. A Megalinoth, a Spellbound Dragon, a Finest Hour, Twin Claw, Intimidation Bolt. All right. Well, all right. So we ended up with a reasonable amount of fixing. Not a ton. We do have to make a ton of cuts, however. Jeez. We have an obelisk, too, which is nice. Obelisk. Whatever. However you pronounce it. Whatever. So we have to make some cuts. So we're super light in blue, right? We have this much blue. We actually have a fair amount of green. Obviously a lot of white. And these are essentially plains and islands that we can cycle with. So the question is, how many lands do I want to play? Because Sanctum Plowbeasts are pretty bad outside of the cycling, right? Like, you don't want to play a 3/6 defender, really. Does not seem that good. We probably can cut the Paragon of the Amisha, because it's just basically a 3-mana 2/2 first strike, which doesn't seem that necessary. We have a ton of creatures, too. Well, let's get rid of the Reborn Hope. I don't think we need that. The Plowbeasts are going to stick around, I think. And actually, we definitely want to keep the Gleam. Let's cut the Lapse of Certainty. I mean, we have to make a lot of space here, so you can count Field Mist Border Post probably as a land. So we can probably get away with like 15 lands, 2 Border Posts, 2 Sanctum Plowbeasts, and a Gleam of Resistance, and we're probably just fine. I mean, essentially you need 1 basic land, and this works as an extra land, so I think that's actually fine. All right, do I want to cut the Grixis Illusionist? It does fix, but basically non-white cards I kind of want to cut back on. Valiant Guard seems kind of underwhelming as well. We don't have a deep Exalted Plan, which makes the Crazian Squire worse for sure, but I'd rather like sideboard into a Valiant Guard plan if we're playing against hyper aggro. I'm not really in love with Illusionist in this deck. I think we have better means of fixing than a 1-mana 1/1 like Gleam or the Plowbeasts. Although the Plowbeasts, once again, they find planes though, like I said, so it actually lets us cut back on planes in our deck, which will be nice. I don't think we need to run a ton of planes. Intimidation Bolt, essentially on the real deep splash. I'm also kind of not in love with, because we do have Ancient Ziggurat, remember, to play our Megalinoth and Spellbound Dragon, which is actually pretty valuable. I don't know about the Flurry of Wings. I wanted to try this card out, but I'm not sure how great it is. It seems a bit underwhelming. I'm still okay with playing the Frontline Sage on the splash, but if you play it off a Ziggurat, you can't use its ability with the blue. It also has Exalted, though, which is pretty good. Grizzled Leotau is not great, but I guess it blocks the ground, it gums up the ground reasonably well. We have to make quite a few cuts here, don't we? So let's cut the Captured Sunlight. I don't think we need to Cascade. And then we have to make, I guess, we still have to make 5 more cuts, because remember, we're going to count Field Mist Border Posts as lands. I think that's fine. And you know me, I'm usually about 16 land decks, but I think I'll make an exception for our 4-color deck. So I want to keep all my removal, although the Intimidation Bolt might be able to get cut. 3 Resounding Silence and a Path to Exile with double Resounding Roar is probably still enough. And I kind of want to cut the Flurry of Wings. It just seems... It does seem like certain matchups it's going to be great, but... Let's wait on that. We can sideboard into that if someone's got some sort of deck where I'd want to bring that in. I do kind of want to cut the Intimidation Bolt. Like I said, just really cut back dramatically on our red in the deck, which would just be Spellbound Dragon and Megalinoth, both of which can be played off Ancient Ziggurat and Jungle Shrine, which would probably let us get away with like 1 mountain, and then between 1 mountain and Ancient Ziggurat, a Jungle Shrine, and a Gleam of Resistance, we've got the means to cast our red spells, probably. So maybe we do just cut the Intimidation Bolt. Like I said, we still have pretty good removal in here. Triple Resounding Silence and Path to Exile is not too shabby. All right, let's cut the Paragon. So 2 more cuts. I'd probably rather have the Double Striker than the Armor Guard. They're both essentially the same mana cost. And like I said, I think a 2/4 Double Strike's probably more valuable than a Hill Giant that pumps most of the time. So let's dump the Armor Guard. And then I might be able to get away with just one Resounding Roar. I don't know if I need two of them. We're very... It's pretty late in the game where you're going to be able to actually cycle it. If you do cycle it, it's pretty awesome, though. Yeah, I mean, I probably want 15 creatures, especially since two of them are just essentially cyclers. I mean, we can play them, but they can't kill our opponent. Yeah. So we can't cut any more creatures comfortably here. Let's cut a Resounding Roar. I'm fine with that. So this looks... I don't know how good this deck is. I'm going to be perfectly honest. We have some evasion. We've got a decent amount of Exalted, right? What do we get? 1, 2, 3, 4... 5. I was kind of hoping we had more Exalted than that, but that's all right. It's not terrible. It's not fantastic, but it's not terrible. We have good removal, right? Triple Resounding Silence, Path to Exile, Guildspire Avenger can potentially do some work. Yeah, I guess this is it. So let's sort by color, combine, take a look at what we're looking at here. So here's our Bant cards. Let's put all our green in one pile. We kind of want to play our green pretty early too. We don't really have a need for much in terms of island cycling since we have double Sanctum Plow Beast and double Field Mist Border Post, so I can get away with one island probably, especially with Obelisk of Bant as well. And the Ziggurat, yeah, I think we can get away with probably. So let's get these lands in here. I think we can make a pretty solid mana base, actually. We probably only... Well, they're saying 6 planes, which I might actually be okay with. Between double Border Post, double Plow Beast, and Gleam of Resistance, that's already 8, 9, 10. That's 11 white sources, which is plenty. This is 5, 6... In fact, it's 12 with the Jungle Shrine. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 blue sources, which is more than enough. I think we actually want... We could probably even afford to do... In fact, I don't know why they have so much blue in here. I think we probably want more green because we want our green early. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7 with Gleam of Resistance. I think we probably cut back a couple on this, bring up our... and then one mountain. Still is probably okay with the Jungle Shrine, the Ziggurat, and the mountain, since the only red spells in our deck are Megalinoth and Spellbound Dragon, 2 creatures. So it's really 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to get red, right? That's not bad. How many ways to get green? 6, 7, 8 for creatures, so we don't have to count that. 7, 8, 9. 9 ways to get green is plenty. 4, 5, 6, 7... 8, 9, 10, 11 ways to get white. That's plenty. This looks fine to me, actually. I think this seems like it'll be fine. Now, is this deck super strong? I have no idea. Like I said, it's been too many years since I played this format, but we've got some powerful stuff in here. We have some removal. We have some powerful finishers. We have some card advantage. We have these border posts, which will require that we get at least one land. And it doesn't, I guess, work with the Ancient Ziggurat, does it? But that's all right. So this deck is something. This deck is something. That's all I'll say. All right, a lot of 5-drops, which is certainly clunky. But all right, I guess this is what we got. So this is what we're gonna play. We'll run it like this. We'll see you around one.